I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Canada is the land of superheroes. Superman was created here. 2 Green Lanterns call it home. And of course, it's where they film the X-Men and Kick-Ass movies. But you're probably thinking, Canadians? They're not all like Wolverine. They're planet Earth's Boy Scouts. How could they possibly fight injustice? Simple. You take the fact that we haven't won a cup in 20 years, fuel that with caffeine and sugar rushes from a daily Tim Hortons run, you'd be ready to kick ass too. Don't believe sugar and chocolate could make you a hero? Well, clearly you've never been to Canada. Why do you think one of our national heroes is Laura Secord? I'd like to thank my remaining international viewers for not turning this off after my Canadian inside joke. While Canada may have played its part in Kick-Ass 2, it's really the Brits who have shaped this film. Flashback to the first Kick-Ass film, where not only did they cast a Brit in the title role, but they gave fickle director Matthew Vaughn the helm to direct. I call him fickle because Vaughn was actually attached to direct X-Men 3, Thor, and the X-Men First Class sequel, but dropped out of all 3. Did you know he's married to Claudia Schiffer? Claudia Schiffer. That does make sense though, because after a long relationship with David Copperfield, Schiffer clearly loves men who use misdirection. What I did find funny about Kick-Ass 1 and 2 was not only how many Brits were in the movie, but how many of those Brits were in Vaughn-produced Guy Ritchie films. With Stephen McIntosh playing Tommy's dad in Kick-Ass 2, it now makes 3 actors who were in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And of course, Mark Strong played Frank D'Amico in the original film. But I very much respected Vaughn's direction in the original Kick-Ass. It was a very solid film, and it seemed to be a launching pad. First he had success with Kick-Ass, then he got a larger franchise with the X-Men. Now they're seemingly doing the same with writer-director Jeff Wadlow. Let him make Kick-Ass 2, and if it's successful, he's rumored to get the X-Force movie in 2016. Hooray! I, for one, am terrified because, for lack of a better metaphor, Kick-Ass 2 was like an ass. It was split down the middle. You could have said Twix bar. Remember that I very much admire Vaughn and his writing partner Jane Goldman, who wrote a dark, edgy, and very witty script with the first Kick-Ass, then moved on to amazing success with the great X-Men First Class. Wadlow does not seem ready. Kick-Ass 2 seemed like it didn't know what kind of film it wanted to be, and what's worse, it vomited on the original. At one point, literally, yeah, there are puke and diarrhea gags in this film. The first Kick-Ass was intelligent, it was self-satirical, kind of deconstructing the comic book genre, but it was also dark, gritty, and uber-violent. Kick-Ass 2 not only started differently, but it was really all over the place. More importantly, it took central characters from the first film and completely flipped them. Characters like Mr. Lazowski, Todd, and Katie, characters who loved Dave in the original film, just turn on him for no reason and become thoroughly unlikable. Not only that, but the new characters were uninteresting, or again, thoroughly unlikable. There was one bright actor that shone like a northern star. Now that's a metaphor. Or is it a simile? This could be the year that really pushes Jim Carrey back into the limelight with an amazing appearance in Burt Wonderstone, and now he brings Colonel Stars and Stripes to life. He's truly unrecognizable in this role, and what's great about characters like this is it shows what an amazing character actor he really is. He's not the star of the show, but he certainly steals it, and so Jim Carrey is Kick-Ass 2's for the win. But he didn't just bring the character to life. Just before a pivotal moment involving Colonel Stars and Stripes, the movie really changes and finally goes in a direction that it should have all along. It honestly felt like Wadlow wrote half the script, fell asleep, and then woke up, and it was mysteriously finished. The second half of Kick-Ass 2 was amazing. It was very dark, action-packed, and featured a creepy cameo by Game of Thrones' Ian Glenn. But the first half is almost unwatchable. There are so many awful, annoying characters, so many juvenile jokes, and so little charm. The second half is what you want from the sequel, but it's like paying for half a movie, or half a Twix, or half an ass. Because of that, I can't recommend it. I was disappointed. And so, it's a burn it. Poll question: since the original Kick-Ass was such a pleasant surprise for people, in your opinion, what is the most underrated comic book film? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. But until next time, school's out.